Hi, this is Kareena Kapoor Khan, and I'm an Indian film actress.
Hi, this is Saif Ali Khan, and I work in the Indian film industry as an actor.
I think today especially is special because it's today's red carpet event is about women in cinema, and the fact is that I think it's the coming together of different cultures. Like coming, yesterday I believe an Indian film was screened here, I think for the first time. So the Indian actor and actress were here, and they were loved. So we're hoping that they'd get to watch a lot of all our movies as well. And I'm glad that through cinema, I think it just builds an emotion of togetherness, of love, of kind of coming together of different cultures. And I'm happy that women being in the forefront today, and that's what today's red carpet is about. And I'm happy to say that Indian cinema also is moving in a direction where actually it's not about being an actor or an actress. It's today just being a lead or just any form of a character in a film, and women actually are kind of leading the pack, if I may say. So I'm just really honored to be part of the festival where actually it's where women are in the forefront. So, and that's why I'm here and I'm happy.
And also just to add, I mean, I think it's great that the initiatives are being taken to, be a little more, let's say, what's the right word? Perhaps to modernize in certain ways and to embrace equality, which seems to be still an issue in so many places in the world. But the fact that these people here in Saudi are trying to do these things and liberalize, so to speak, is to be encouraged and respected, and I hope it continues. Cinemas weren't allowed till 2017, but they'd still somehow seen the movies, and I think there is a natural affinity. I think generally, um, kind of all the way south of the Mediterranean, right the way across to India, is traditionally they're quite friendly to our movies and
I
our
think they
culture.
enjoy the culture because of
Yeah,
there's a
there's a
lot of
similarity.
there's a lot of energy because there's like there's song, there's dance, there's emotions, there's love. It's a kind of it's just a feeling, like I said, it's a sense of like it just gives you like this feeling of it's a very warm feeling, the kind of cinema that I think we do in India. So when you watch it, no matter where you are, what language, what you speak, or however, somehow you just kind of connect to the emotion. And that's, I think, the important part of even cinema. Language or anything shouldn't be a barrier. I'm going to be making a debut on Netflix for the first time. One of my films is going to be coming, and it's actually an Indian adaptation of a Japanese novel. So he's adapted it in Hindi, in the Indian language. So that's special because, again, like I said, language or any sort of there's no barrier, and we've kind of done it in Hindi. So let's see. I hope people watch it all over, and the fact that it is on Netflix, I think it'll be available in different languages, subtitles. People can still connect to it. So I'm hoping that happens. The book was called Devotion of Suspect X, and we're hoping to stick to the title. Of course, Saif loves that title, so I'm hoping we get that.
Now, I'm doing a kind of a modern, I'm not modern, technically modern version of the Ramayana, which is one of our great epics in India, and I am playing the role of the demon king Ravan, the 10-headed demon king. So it's quite a CG extravaganza kind of. Um, I hope it's a film that tends to get made every 15 years when there's a big change in technique. So this is going to be a modern technical version of the same story. So I'm quite excited about that. One of the things, at least in our industry, and I jokingly say, the reason we're all so polite and nice to each other is because nobody really knows what works and what doesn't work, and they're theories. And after COVID, it does seem things have changed. But I thought the audience had shrunk, and people are staying home and buying big TVs and watching streaming. But somebody told me recently in the business that actually it's grown because if the film does well, it does much better than it was doing before COVID. But if it doesn't do well, then it just crashes immediately. That mid path is doesn't happen anymore, where you're not sure for a while and then it doesn't work. It doesn't work from day one. It's badly over. It'll just nobody will bother going at all. So I think people have become um, quickly selective, whether they like it or not,
And less tolerant of
and less
bad
tolerant,
movies.
perhaps less tolerant to bad movies. Which, so I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't know exactly why, but something has changed, and I think the tolerance, which is great,
No, also I
has
think
altered.
people, like I said, I mean, today it's very expensive also to go to a cinema back home and,
Absolutely.
spend a particular sum of money. COVID hasn't, of course, helped that at all. In so many countries. So it's different. And the fact is that, the streaming giants also have reduced their cost of kind of streaming. So people are watching it on their phones and, at home. Their content has been amazing. So I think and also I think the fact that, you get there's it's you can be a slightly more freer and liberal with the content on the digital platform. So I think that's also more exciting for actors to kind of, do something absolutely different rather than, stick to the typical song and dance genre. So I think everyone's into this phase of experimenting also. A lot of Indian actors are. I guess in terms of writing, in terms of dialogue, I think one can be, like you said, a
Exactly, the
little more.
potential for you. One can
Yeah.
be. Not everyone is, but one can be. So it's a different medium, and one needs to understand that. Of course, you can be in cinema as well and in movies. I think the two will coexist. And we've just seen a very big hit in our theaters. From something completely unexpected. People were saying things like only the big tentpole movies, big action, CG heavy, Marvel type, movies, which have been running, will run. So you either make a very big film or don't bother. But there was a kind of mid-level movie, a nice
Yeah,
thriller,
there's some
which
thriller
with a
content.
nice twist at the end, which just kind of killed it at the box office recently. So everyone's scratching their heads and gone back to the drawing board, figuring out. The point is they are coming to theaters again, which is great. It's called Drishyam 2. It's a sequel. Is it a sequel?
It is a sequel. It was made. One was made and carries on. Two carries on from there.
It's not unlike Devotion of Suspect X at one point, the story. Yeah. When they asked me on CNN, which was a business chat, so I was trying to sound firstly clever, which my parents have told me never to do. And they asked me, why do you think certain films have not performed? Or what is the issue with the industry at the moment? And obviously one issue has always been the budgeting and the inflation of the budget. And perhaps, yes, there have been instances where a lot of films haven't run, where the budgeting's been crazy and there have been money paid with no returns. And when that happens repeatedly, you have a slight financial crisis, or not slight, you have a financial crisis. And that usually happens when amazing amounts of money have been paid. And at that point, yes, it's a mistake, but that's in retrospect. And of course, the actor has to have that kind of promise and ability to warrant that kind of payment. And that's why he gets paid. So it's no comment on the actors. It's just an observation that when a film goes wrong, mostly it's the budgeting that's gone wrong. I mean, that's an old story. That's what I meant. No, we're not overpaid, we're underpaid. We need to get paid more. That's what I said. Yeah. We did some stuff. I always found it rather difficult to work with my wife, in the sense that I'm always a little concerned about how she is or whether it's all right. And acting
Because
to me
are
is
you
a very
saying that because
selfish
you're very
business.
competitive?
No,
maybe?
I would like to be competitive,
So that's
but I find myself not being competitive and just
no,
so
it's
that's no
difficult.
fun.
It's like, they're two different.
Yeah, is she all right?
emotions.
Is it okay? Which is not what you want, because at even the most romantic scenes, or the ones where you seem most connected, are extremely selfish, in my opinion, where you're mostly concerned about how you're doing. So if I can learn to do,
like the female lead in the movie, that's the thing.
I think all actors should want to be the best in the scene, whatever they're doing.
I would love to work with Saif, and yeah, I don't know. You never know.
I'm sure
I mean, I
something
think
will
we
come
should
up.
leave
I'd
it
love
open.
to. I think
Yeah,
it's definitely
we
open.
should.
There's no such thing that no.
I don't
It's
believe
not
that
at
if you're
all.
like married and you do a movie together and it doesn't work, and so many people say so many things.
In fact, I think I've
Whatever,
grown
but it's
personally as well as professionally, so I probably would do a better job of it now.
female actors in the recent past, I think in the last 5-8 years, who've actually taken on, parts and done leading roles where they've not been any, male leads in the film, and they've actually worked at the box office. So I think it's up to an individual. It's up to each, an actor, if they have the guts and they want to do it and they take it on, irrespective of whether the film does well or not. The fact is that if we start taking on more roles like that, I think it makes a difference. I mean, I did a film back in the day, a film called Chameli, which was shot in 31 days. It was it was a female led film, it was a title role, and it was actually at a time where nobody was even discussing like female remuneration or what an actress was getting, or like actor actress. It was always like, yeah, okay, films are being made. So it was my choice that I wanted to do it. It was like, I want to be a part of this film, I want to headline this film, and it's fine. So I think there have been so many actresses after that, I
Well,
mean,
also,
everybody.
so the audience, I think, is also very much ready for it, and have
Absolutely.
been supporting it. And then there've been quite a few
Yeah,
examples
from Dirty
of
Picture to Gangubai
yeah,
to
yeah.
a lot of the female-led films have been, absolute
So
blockbusters.
it's a success. I mean, if it's a change, it's a successful wave that is being accepted and embraced by the audiences, at least at home, for sure. Whenever I think of acting, I just think of needing to be lucky being the most important thing I could bless any actor with. So you could work hard, work very hard, um, and hope you're very lucky. But I
Yeah,
don't know if I'm in a
50-50.
position to
No,
comment on this,
I
actually.
think the main thing is that I feel that if you enjoy what you do, it kind of, comes across, whether it's direction, production, acting. If you're enjoying it, if you're loving that moment and you're living in it, you're just giving it your all, I think, beautiful things come out of it. So, just give it your all, try to make amazing movies and believe in whatever you do. And some will work and some won't.
Absolutely. Actually, yeah, to any young actor anywhere, I'd say,
But
try and
giving up is not an
concentrate.
option.
Yeah, concentrate on the work and try not to get distracted by the so many other things that you'll have to deal with. And it'd be nice if you could focus on playing interesting parts well rather than all the other stuff that sometimes gets in the way. But as far as Saudi specifically and what they would be going through and what kind of restrictions or freedoms they'll have, I'm afraid I don't know enough about it to be able to practically give some, uh, focused advice on that. So I'm just being a bit general. So I think there's so many new people coming up and different people from advertising and different walks of life that were it was a smaller industry before in the sense that there was certain tried and proven rhythms and masters doing that. But I think now some of these new people doing really exciting things on the web and film. So someone like that. I don't like to think in terms of this person or that person, but something like that. I really would like to do a heist movie.
I've never really had this dream role, or like, okay, this is what I really want to do, or this is um, a version of a film. I've never really thought, of which or what. And directors, like Seth said, there's so many young directors out there, new talent, upcoming talent, that I would love to, work with. And especially now that I'm, pouring into like, a digital medium, and I'm, taking on projects like that, I think sky should be the limit, hopefully.